and welcome back to my channel. This is SC Coleman Author, and today in this video we are going to take a break from the memorandums of understanding or agreement or whatever you would like to call them, and we're going to go into the weeds on perhaps the worst. It's hard to say if it is the worst, but it is certainly on the high up there on worst activities imaginable in relation to child trafficking and harvesting. To start with, we are going to read a letter, the Certified Translation German to English Disclosure Letter on the CYM Charlie Yankee Mike Chemical Corporation. From the Intelligent Fountains. Dear Mr. Schaefer, I'm sending photocopies and printouts because I am afraid. I received USB sticks and letters from Amazon. One stick was open and had data on it. I was going to send the stick back, but then thought no. I cannot speak English very well, but what I understand is that it is a list with abducted children that would be captured and exploited. It is a terrible thing. The CYM firm operates warehouses and works with children. They offer adrenochrome for sale and dispose of the children as waste. There are many hundreds of pages and I can only print a few. There are some lists with the names and pictures of adults. I think they are the people that catch the children. I find that no one here believes me. Everyone says you're crazy, but it is true. That's what Q said. So now I come to you, Mr. Schaefer, to hear your side of the truth. I would also like to write Mr. Trump that mail, but the mail is controlled. I don't think it's the same in Germany yet. Haha. Of course it is. I can't send an email because I'm honestly scared. These are bad people who murder and torture small children. I have been reading about Q for a long time. Please find a way to make this public in your blog or website. After looking at the names, but not all, the firms appear reputable. Can you give this list to Mr. Trump so that the children's suffering can end? That's a fortunate typo. It says this least. Meant to say list. I'm really scared, and in case this letter is intercepted, I can't have my name on it because my son is the same age as these children. Wishing you strength, and thank you very much, Steffi. If you want me to send more, I have to be careful. Write on the website about Steffi, then I will see that and reply. So that is, essentially speaking, what you would call a cover letter. The long, or the small section of those hundreds of pages of documents, we have, I'll just read off some of the names in the A. You've got a Brittany Abbott, birthday of November 12th, 2014. So that individual would be, if they were not disposed of at this point, because it says due to disposal 2021, they would have been, considering we're 2025, they're 2014, so that would have been 11 years old. They would have been 11 years old. But by the time of this document being taken, they would have been 6. We have a to look at some of these, well, we've got the years of 2010, 2008, 2009, 2013, etc. These are all in the relatively the same age group, many in 2014, and there are numerous pages, disposal date of 2024, 2025, 2021, 2020, 2023, etc. So we go through that page after page after page of all these young children. And then we come to, oh, and by the way, there is the CYM Corporation Main Detention Center's production report listing with the average ages listed as 8 to 10 years old. Then we have this listing for, I believe, well, it's a cover. They're cover letters anyway. The BTG Management Services Ltd., previous name Prothrix PLC, the Health Heath Business and Technical Park. The Heath Business and Technical Park, DUNS number 504-853-433. New York, July 5th, 2020. RE, that means that's like what it concerns, the activities of head offices UK. Please find enclosed our confidential new detainee and production reports as follows. Production of raw adrenochrome per detention center with average age of detainees. List of detainees used for production, duration of custody, and scheduled disposal date. Note that SUIC, S-U-I-C, only states suicide attempts. A finished suicide would appear in the disposable report, not enclosed. I love how these people talk about children. The 2020 price list, quality A+, or A++ is 100 milligrams, is listed at $1,920 per USD per milligram. B+, or B++, 100 milligrams, $1,450 per milligram, and then B or below, 250 milligrams, $1,100 to $1,200, depending on the market. Please note, check or cash in advance. Checks made payable for the CYM Corporation Special Interest Division. With best regards, C.S. Yorrington, CEO and founder of CYM. And all of these are about the same. We got the next one is Absinthe Biologics Biohub at Adderley Park. DUNS number 672213873. Research and Experimental Development on Social Sciences and Humanities. That's under RE. UK SIC code 72200. Next we have Bivitrix Therapeutics Biohub at Alderley Park, DUNS number 2215-66488. RE Research and Experimental Development on Biotechnology. These all have the same pricing, listing, and other stuff that's repeated. The Fast Biopharma Biohub at Alderley, Research and Experimental Development on Biotechnology. The Incanthera Limited, other research and experimental development on natural sciences and engineering, and manufacture other chemical products for Medimune UK Ltd, Spec Renaissance Way, Boulevard Specke. And then it says Liverpool, L24 9JW. Ox Rain Suite 313, Piccadilly House, Piccadilly, Manchester, Research and Experimental Development on Social Sciences and Humanities. You have Pepsin Ltd, School of Medical Education, University of Liverpool, manufacturer of perfumes and toilet preparations. Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical, manufacturing Liverpool, Fleming Road, Specke, manufacturer of basic pharmaceutical products. And the list goes on. Pharmanova UK Ltd, 2 Woodlands Lane, West Kirby, other research and experimental development in natural sciences. I think we all get the picture with those, so we can move on to the next section, which are the people and the pictures and the documents. So here I have highlighted that it is a notice or a note of promotion. However, despite the current rank being listed as W5, this is not military. In the military, as I have personal experience, W stands usually as a pay grade for warrant officer. This guy is not a warrant officer of any branch. He looks like he could be possibly in the Air Force. Certainly not the Marine Corps, Army, or Navy. Name Donovan Evans. Now the birth date is listed as 4-15-68. So that would be April 15th, 1968. That, however, is the incorrect format for the military, being that the year goes first. Sacramento Army Depot. Job description, warden, senior warden, or leading warden, assigned to CYM Corporation, New York, warden in adrenochrome harvesting site AHS, or legal counsel in similar area or similar rank, or technician in similar rank, or office personnel in similar ranks, not included CYM Corp, private contractors, nurses, undertakers, etc. And it lists a Miss Hillary Notar, N-O-T-A-R, phone number 831-242-7184, 1759 Lewis Road, Suite 210, IMWE/POM, which I'm not sure, but I don't know if that means Presidio of Monterey, but I believe it does, which is where the language school is located in Monterey, California, 93944. Signed, John Halstead. HR. And here we got some more of these people who are definitely not military, but this lady named Daryl E. Hooper, weird name, is listed as an E9. E stands for enlisted. It is also a pay grade, but an E9 is that individual does not look like an E9. E9s are usually anyway, really old. Of course, there is a military advancement for females and so-called LGBTQ plus individuals. They get fast-tracked just because of that and that alone. But in general, this is obviously not military, not just because of that, but also, of course, the date structure. The year does not come first here. The birth date is November 12th, 1968, and listed Sacramento Army Depot. These are definitely, I would say, absolutely and unequivocally are CIA. But I suppose it's possible that they're not, so perhaps I wouldn't say unequivocally. Anyway, we've got somebody with the rank of 05. Yeah, sure. A Lee Dalton, 7/27/1978. Obviously not 2078. Haha. Current rank 02, Raven Owen, which is a guy, apparently. 12/9/1968, Desert Training Center. We've got a E4, Tanya Medina, 3/09/94, Fort Ord. We've got here a W4, Blankenship Madeline, or Madeline Blankenship. Now here's the interesting part. The date of birth changes from the previous structure to 24808. Almost looks like a zip code or something like that. Doesn't really look like a birthday. If that was a birthday and written in that way, you could assume it's either February 48th, of course that doesn't exist, 1908 or 2008. And neither of those are possibilities, obviously. So that's not a birth date. One has to wonder what they're doing there. We've got a Joe Gilmore, 02. Again, same weird 5-digit birth date structure with no dashes or anything. And this is 22173, Fort Baker. And that guy looks like an accountant or something like that. Now we've got an E1, which is the private rank in pretty much every branch except for the Navy and Air Force. So basically just the Marine Corps and Army. Actually, I suppose the Coast Guard doesn't have a E1 listed as private. But I don't really remember. I was an E1 in the Marine Corps. Not many people actually start as E1. Usually they're immediately promoted to a E2, which would be a private first class, or actually I believe it is private first class in both Army and Marine Corps. But yeah, most people do not actually go in as a private, and they're very rare to see. And there's a funny joke that people hate privates because they assume they're officers and end up saluting privates because they don't have rank. Anyway, Ahmed R. Brooker, we have 12593 Fort Yuma. Oakland Army Base at John Huffman, 31430 under date of birth, and that's allegedly an E9. That guy is not an E9. He looks like some weirdo dude that just got out of college. Now we've got a William Castaneda, Fort Point, Warrant Officer 4. And we've got a Noel Simpson, that's a guy, Fort Yuma, E8. We got a Mary Vasquez, 33961, Fort Point, E8. Declan Ballard, Fort Ord, E7. George Pope, 31474, Desert Training Center, 03. And that dude definitely looks like a serial killer. Paul Simon, 42971, Fort Point, a Warrant Officer 2, and so they go. There's a lot more, for sure. So we'll move on to the really annoying, or whatever you call it, creepy. We've got this map here. You can't see it very well because the printout didn't work, but on the PDF it's a lot easier to see. But it's a dumping site. To Legal Department, George C. Scouts. RE, orderly disposal of human remains. It asks, can anyone conceal it better? The fence alone won't be sufficient. Regards, Lucy. Now we have a international consignment note, CYM Deutschland GmbH SEC, which is, I believe GmbH is a Great British, or I don't remember. Anyway, that's a European company designation thing. You won't find that in the United States. The Postfalsch 18288A 109999 Berlin. To the consignee is the Department of Health and Social Care, 39 Victoria Street, London, United Kingdom, and that's a SW1H0EU. Method of packing is a cooler. It's adrenochrome pure and 100% natural. The currency is the euro. Not to open by customs, not to be disconnected from battery. Valuable natural product. Keep cool under all circumstances. This is dated. This is dated October 5th, 2020. Cash on delivery, Kuhn and Nagel. Here you can see for yourself. And there are numerous of these, if you want to call them invoices, I'm not sure whatever you want to call them, but they are listed as consignment. I don't think consignment's the correct term for it, but okay. Now I believe that a lot of their equipment and a lot of the disposal of the remains and a whole lot of this stuff is embedded in the military. But this does not mean that every single person in the military structure is involved with it, and in most cases these are civilians acting as though they are more important in the military and trying to use the military as essentially cover structures so that everyone in the military takes the fall for their activities, when in fact nobody in the actual military was involved in this, because the military is quote-unquote under the authority of the civilian stuff. Anyway, we have unit names. Some of these would be recognizable. Bravo Company 414 CA Cavalry Battalion. And they're going to be, most of this stuff is going to be normal military gear. You know, you got a toolkit, body fender, insert body armor medium, body ventilation system 3, GLO, lower extremity body armor, quad guard extremity body armor, x-ray security body scanning system, etc. All of that stuff. We've got 329 Medical Battalion, or 329 Medical Company, sorry, headquarters 198 SIG Battalion. That might be Signals Battalion, but it's hard to say. And these are probably going to be the Army here, not the Marine Corps. And there's many pages of this standard military equipment. You know, we've got Alpha Company, 520 Infantry Battalion, etc. Now, the parts that are highlighted appear to be the inserted elements that they're attempting to launder through the normal military supply system, or in this case, the Army. Here we have going to 23 Chemical Battalion, X-ray Security Body Scanning System, the CAT KAF Garrison Command X-ray Security Body Scanning System, and BDOC X-ray Security Body Scanning System. Now that seems normal except for the fact that those three are specifically highlighted. And the last ones that are highlighted seem right in the wheelhouse of what they're doing, which is to the MNF-1SCJS bag medical, or medical bag. To the 24QM company, you have the cargo air without skid bag. And to the 368 CTC, you have the cargo air without skid bag. So you're imagining that these people are probably dumping, and as it's mentioned before, as though it's waste disposal, part of regular waste disposal, they're dumping bodies using military body bags, among other things. So these are some things that need to be kept in mind when we're looking at subsequent documentation, subsequent analysis of current ongoing activities that actually relate to this stuff. It is possible that because this stuff's been exposed, it's been shut down, but there's still so much more to find, to uncover, and to close. This first element comes from the Mid-Ohio Valley Tree Service, 4815 North Torch Road, Coolville, Ohio. 45723, that's the area code, or the zip code. 304-893-3667 as the phone number. This is from December 18th, 2022 to the West Virginia Department of Homeland Security in account with Yeager Juvenile Center, 907 Mission Drive, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Now, if that's not strange enough, they're tax exempt and they're being paid $51,762.79 for the stumps being cut to ground, no grinding, trimming of trees, including 3 cherry trees and 2 butternut trees. Boy, I'd like to be paid $51,000 to trim trees. Or they're trimming hedges. There's no way on earth that they're being paid $51,000 to trim hedges. That's just ridiculous. So this is to the West Virginia Department of Homeland Security, Division of Administrative Services, 1124 Smith Street, 2nd floor, Suite 210. In account with reference RFQ 0608 DCR 23000000139, the Yeager Juvenile Center, 907 Mission Drive, Parkersburg, West Virginia 26101. Phone number 304-865-0159. Tree removal and trimming, left side of building and behind building. The Lori Yeager Jr. Juvenile Detention Center, overall cost $51,762.79, as I said before. Again, it's in Coolville, Ohio. A email address is mweatherholt001@gmail.com. Very professional. The W-9 is listed a Michael L. Weatherholt. Now, the Social Security number, the first 2 lines are blacked out. And I could possibly decipher it if I wanted to spend the time doing that, but I don't think it really matters. The last 4 is 1457. The employer identification number is 812252165. It is signed and dated May 12, 2022. The insurance companies, which I find to be interesting, it includes Coggles Hall Simons Insurance Incorporated at 2501 Cemetery Street, Coolville, Ohio, except they have a P.O. Box of 499, so not a physical location. You have the United Ohio Insurance Company and Grange Indemnity Insurance Company. The policies, of which it does appear to be automobile liability and commercial general, have different start dates, but both in the same year, 2022, and ending in 2023. And that is the start of a long, also the Michael Lee Weatherholt is listed as an owner-operator, and one has to wonder if that actually relates to trucking and perhaps the commercial driver's license as well, but perhaps not. Again, the email and the dates and the phone numbers and all that stuff have been repeated there. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the dumping. Corrective Action Completion Summary Report, Cozart Landfill, Township Road 135, Dixon Road, Coolville, Ohio, Athens County, Ohio, the Ohio Environmental Agency, or prepared by March 2021. Cozart is a closed municipal solid waste disposal facility located on the eastern side of Township Road 135, aka Dixon Road, Coolville, in the southeastern portion of Section 4 of Carthage Township, Athens County, Ohio. Cozart began accepting waste in the late 1970s and operated as a licensed solid waste landfill in the 1980s. In the mid-1980s, the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources informed Ohio EPA that the Johns Manville Corporation manifested chromium-containing fire bricks to Cozart for disposal. While an investigation failed to find any fire bricks, the Manville Corporation agreed to settle the case for $3.9 million. So of course you're going to have money laundering, and you're also going to have an excuse to keep out the general public so that they can dump bodies. The money from the settlement was placed in a trust and has been used by Ohio EPA, as I said before, money laundering, to complete closure, again, what I said, consolidate the waste, build a locate collection system, and construct the final cover, and to provide for the long-term maintenance costs associated with the landfill for post-closure care, excluding Ohio EPA personnel costs. So it's obviously a body dumping ground. So they've got everything lined up to make sure nobody goes on there or inspects it because it's quote-unquote radioactive or whatever nonsense they want to say. You know, it's dangerous for your own health, so don't go and inspect over here because we don't want you on the property. If you do, we'll of course shoot you because obviously if it's radioactive, we would rather kill you by bullet for your own safety than let you die of the natural causes of finding children buried there. Well, more like disposed of, not really buried. The state, its agencies, independent contractors, etc., like the CYM Corporation, have been granted access to COSART to perform closure and post-closure care through Article 5, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, who gives a crap about all their hide behind this nonsense and code and ordinance and stupid crap? Well, you can hide behind it all you want, but it's not going to stop bullets. COSART is located in the Allegheny Plateau province along the Ohio River. The terrain is typified by high dissected upland areas and steep stream valleys. The total capped landfill area is approximately 14 acres, surrounded by dense woods with rocky outcrops covering much of the neighboring hills. Steep cliffs surround about 2/3 of the landfill. Surface drainage at the landfill follows the sloping terrain to rock line drainage swales, whatever, however you say that, and catch basins which discharge to the intermittent stream located at the base of the surrounding cliffs. I think we get the idea. It's a pretty good place to dump bodies. Right? Of course, they have to constantly monitor the area and always have some excuse for why only they and they alone are allowed to access it. As part of the closure activities, a natural surface drainage pattern was used to site the placement of two 10,000-gallon tanks used to collect leachate generated from the landfill. The topography of the area consists of uplands dissected by deep stream valleys. COSART is sited on the top of a ridge divided by unnamed tributaries of Wolf Pen Creek. The drainage network surrounding the site is shown in Figure 2. And that's probably no point showing that. It's very hard to see. Here it goes on about the soils, which is going to be important to ensure that no bodies get dug up by natural forces or wild animals, because obviously no people are going to be going on it, except on the rare occasion that somebody doesn't believe their crap and decides they're going to break onto the property no matter what. So this brings us to a recent listing about interestingly associated individuals with something called juvenile court vendors. Now these are vendors listed for Fairfield County, Ohio, where Lancaster is. It's just south of Columbus. It's very far from Coolville. We have a George R. Tucker allegedly associated and related to a Marnie Tucker. Now, the voter registration record shows George R. Tucker at 35868 Hawking Drive, Logan. Marnie Tucker at 1150 Lottridge Road, Coolville, Ohio. Now, when we look at that property in Logan, 35868 Hawking Drive, Logan, Ohio, we find the property owners to be a Carissa and Grubb Isaiah Tucker. Now, it's listed out in such a way that I'm not entirely sure if that's three people or if that's somebody who has a middle name, Isaiah, and it's not showing the middle name of the other. It's hard to say. It doesn't seem like it's listed out properly. Now, as far as the sales listing goes, in 2005, it was sold to Rempel Partners, LLC for $100,000. In 2006, it was sold for $106,900 to a Larry D. and M.E. Howdy Shell. But then in 2018, it was sold for $165,500 to a George R. and Marnie R. Tucker. So why are the property owners listed differently from the alleged buyers? Isn't that an interesting question? But we're going to find a lot more in association to this type of activity. We have a John Stewart LLC from 2021 by Carl Jordan Jones, 3906 Sunway, Morgantown, West Virginia, and they're listed as operating real property. Now, on the statutory agent, we have Elizabeth Jones at 23876 Township Road 119, Coolville, Ohio, And the statutory agent signature is simply a printed name, Elizabeth D. Jones. Now, there is no print name on the signature page. The signature contains the print name, which are Elizabeth D. Jones, Clarence M. Jones, and Robbie B. Stewart. One has to wonder if those aren't aliases. They could be, could not be, probably are. Now, this is from West Virginia. This follow-on document is EDJ, that's Echo Delta Juliet Operations Holding Company, LLC. This is from 2003 in Charter County of Wood and member managed. Listing a designated office address as 228 12th Street, Suite B, Parkersburg, West Virginia. There's that name again, Parkersburg. Isn't that the same place with the detention center? Well, that's a rhetorical question. Of course, I know it is. The mailing address is 23876 Township Road 119, Coolville, Ohio. The notice of process address is a Beth Jones, same address. Now, Beth is often short for Elizabeth. Of course, we have a Elizabeth D. Jones at 1211 31st Street, Vienna, West Virginia. But Beth Jones is listed as 5807 4th Avenue, Vienna, West Virginia. It's also listed for wholly owned subsidiaries, EDJ Operations of Mineral Wells, LLC, and EDJ Aerations. I believe that is a typo, but it's OO Aerations instead of Operations of Lubbock, LLC, 3 L's, and must be 21 to enter, LLC, and CS and JJ and BJ LLC. The follow-on is EDJ Operations of Mineral Wells, LLC. That's one of their wholly owned subsidiaries. This is from 2003, Wood County, etc. The mailing address is 23876 Township Road 119, Coolville, Ohio, and the notice of process address is Elizabeth Jones at 23876 Township Road 119, Coolville. The member of Elizabeth Jones is listed at 1211 31st Street, Vienna, West Virginia, and Beth Jones again at 5807 4th Avenue, Vienna, West Virginia. Now, they have doing business as, or DBA, EDJ River City Perk. EDJ River City Perk number 2, must be 21 to enter Mineral Wells, must be 21 to enter Parkersburg, and must be 21 to enter Vienna. Pot of Gold Cafe, Pot of Gold Cafe at Mineral Wells, Pot of Gold Casino, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now we have the Bayou City Equipment LLC. Bayou City Equipment LLC, 14500 East Hardy Road, Houston, Texas. That brings up the idea of a Margaret Cole, specifically involved in adoption agency child trafficking via Texas to Ohio, and involving areas in Poland, Africa, South America, etc. Now, under the signature area, there's no signatures again. There's only printed name Paul Martinez and David Bell. Next, down here, we have, under the bottom signature, we have State Tax Advisors by Catherine Diane. That doesn't sound like a last name to me. It probably is not. Now we have the Articles of Incorporation for a Faith Harvest Church located at 41484 State Route 7, Reedsville, Ohio, Athens County, Ohio. Listing a Jeff D. Collier, or Collier, C-O-L-L-I-E-R, Route 2, New Haven, West Virginia. A Marlene Poaches, 5400 Harbor Point Boulevard, K305, Mukilteo, Washington, is listed for the Coolville Ridge Atomic Ranch. This is from 2018. Marlene Poaches has an parent address at 8111 North Coolville Ridge Road, Athens, Ohio. Now, it states that it's for roadside farm market and Athens farmers market vendor. Coolville Ridge Atomic Ranch is a permaculture mini farm located just outside of Athens, Ohio. We cultivate organically grown produce from heirloom non-GMO seeds acquired from suppliers who have taken the Safe Seed Pledge. Cottage goods are handmade from scratch using certified organic and or natural ingredients. Our mid-century but modern farm practice is sustainable and harmonious integration of environment. And one would absolutely believe this if it wasn't for the address listing Mukilteo, Washington. That's not the only address we're going to find with Washington either. Again, Coolville Ridge Atomic Ranch, Marlene Poaches. There's no actual signature, just twice with a printed name. Articles of Incorporation for the Coolville Holiness Camp Meeting Incorporated, to conduct religious activities, religious training, and to hold camp meetings, all of which shall be interdenominational, and all other things conformity to the law to fulfill these purposes. Of course, they're fake law, because they always like to say that because they're the only law, as it would say. And there's 3 people listed here, a Otis W. Allen, a Carl Gilliland, and a Herbert Mahaney. Now, the Herbert Mahaney and the Otis W. Allen have the same address of RD2, Coolville, Ohio. Those are obviously our different last names, so one has to wonder what they're doing there. And this is from March 1980, the 12th of March 1980. Now we have a Dan, D-A-N, A. Marshall, 929 Market Street, P.O. Box 61, Parkersburg, West Virginia. There we go again with Parkersburg. Now this is called CM Properties, Coolville, LLC. They're just missing a Y there. It is listed to be perpetual, and the date on this is going to be 2008. Now the Coolville CM Properties LLC, or CM Properties Coolville LLC, has an address listed of Terry, for the agent anyway, Terry Dowler, 7308 Vito Road, Belpre, Ohio. And there it's got actual signature, interestingly. Next we have the White Funeral Home and White Etheridge Funeral Home, a James Willis, it looks like a W.B. Willis, C. Blower. Oh, those are 3 people. So we have a James W., a B. Willis, or a Willis C., I'm not sure. A Willis C. Blower and a James something. 5th Street, Coolville, Ohio. This is dated 1985, I believe. Hard to read. White Funeral Home, James N. Blower and Willis C. Blower, a partnership, general partnership. And for the Willis C. Blower, we have 264 2nd Street, Middleport, Ohio. Now those are going to be probably low-level facilitators because Middleport is close to Athens, but it's sort of like a triangle, right, between Coolville, Athens, and Middleport. All obviously connected to Parkersburg, West Virginia, where they have that detention center for children. Now this is a RE, Concerned Citizens of Coolville Area. This is a legal professional association filed paperwork out of Athens, Ohio, which they also admitted, meaning admitted to the bar in West Virginia. So you have a group of attorneys that create a group called Concerned Citizens of the Coolville Area Incorporated. That sounds like a classic CIA tactic of set up an organization to fix the problem that they've been causing. Now this brings us to another element in the mechanism to show not only how the fraud's perpetuated, but how it is engaged into international interests and operating under the guise of the Immigration and Customs. So to understand this, we have an Immigration and Customs structure based on fraud and managed by international interests. And that's how they can just get all this stuff through and nobody is the wiser, nobody cares. So this is from August 12, 2025. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, there we go again. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Columbus Field Office, 395 East Broad Street, Suite 100, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. Now here they start out by hiding behind the usual. INA Section 212D5A authorizes UCIS on behalf of the Secretary of Homeland Security to parole into the United States any applicant for admission. Interesting wording there. USCIS exercises this parole authority on a case-by-case basis. Whether to grant parole is a matter of agency discretion. That's a fun word they're using, by the way, parole. To exercise this discretion favorably, USCIS must find that parole is justified either by urgent humanitarian needs or significant public benefit. So you understand what they're doing and how essentially they capture children. We have carefully considered the facts of your case, and we regret to inform you that we are unable to grant your request this time because your previously order removed on January 23rd, 2024. Therefore, USCIS denies your Form I-131. Now, this is in relation to a file called I-131, Application for Travel Document with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. It filed the form for parole in place under Section 212 blah 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 of the Immigration and Nationality Act as a spouse of a member of the U.S. Armed Forces. To understand who they're doing this to. This is not a military outfit. They have nothing but disgust and disdain for veterans and military personnel. There is no appeal to this decision, but you may file a motion to reopen or reconsider. Your motion to reopen or reconsider must be filed in Form I-290B. Within 30 days of the date of this notice, you must mail your Form I-29B or 290B, along with the appropriate filing fee. That's called extortion. Now, the signature, of which it contains no date, is listed a Jesely A. Santos Kreider, Field Office Director. That is not a common name. Jesely is spelled J, Juliet, E, Echo, SS, Sierra, Sierra, Echo, or E, L, Lima, Echo, Echo, A, Alpha, Santos, Sierra, Alpha, November, Tango, Oscar, Sierra, dash, Kreider. That's K as in Kilo, Romeo, India, Delta, Echo, Romeo. Jesely A. Santos Kreider's Nevada voter registration. Jesely A. Santos Kreider, age 43, is listed at 7750 Sharton Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89179, Clark County, Nevada. Next, Jesely Kreider, age 43, was born on June 1st, 1982, current city of Charlotte, North Carolina. Jesely Kreider lived in Virginia Beach, VA, or Virginia, Springfield, Virginia, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Other names that Jesely uses includes Jesely A. Santos Kreider, Jesely A. Santos, Jesely Santos, Jesely Aquino Santos, and Jesely A. Santos Kreider, with the dash. Jesely Kreider, age 43, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Known address, 4909 Hallwell Drive, Virginia Beach, Virginia, with a landline phone number in Charlotte, North Carolina of 704-504-0699. And of course, there's other phone numbers also listed there. It is likely that this is not a real person. Previous addresses include one in Ohio, a 9722 Fresno Court, Plain City, Ohio, 43064. Notice it says previous addresses. We have 217 Diamond Creek Circle, Apartment L, Charlotte, North Carolina, 11631 Planters Estates Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina, 7750 Sharton Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada, and 2910 Mary Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I believe we have found another child trafficker. Specifically, child trafficking. The harvesting is done by apparently separate individuals, but they may all be the same. It's hard to say considering they hide behind so many aliases and whatnot. Now, the active physical therapist listing effective June 30th, 2010 for West Virginia lists a staggeringly large number of people not from West Virginia. We have Amy Adams and Francis Adams. Amy Adams at 11801 Industrial Park Street, that's an interesting address, Cumberland, Maryland. Francis Adams at a 102 Iris Meadow Drive, Mooresville, North Carolina. Now, one of those obviously appears to be a residential address, but industrial parks generally do not have residences. Delinda Atkins, a 5737 Swanson Drive, Ashland, Kentucky, and a Melissa Adkins, 6783 Leafcrest Drive, Apartment 2D, Wetset, North Carolina. And there are quite a lot of, I'll read some other names here. We've got Shannon Maragos, 4503 Fairway Drive, Steubenville, Ohio. Now, one of the places that pops up a lot, and I haven't quite done full research into yet, is St. Clairsville, Ohio. I don't know why. It's just on there. Now, this Patriot Engineering Environment Incorporated did a contact and communication tracking sheet. Private wells located within AOR half-mile search radius. Under the owner listing, we also have a listing of oil field well, which the first section lists a Bailey D number 1, or Bailey D number 1, yeah, Cunningham number 1, and Frost M number 1. Now, in one of the Frost M number 1s, it lists the owners, the Athens County Board of Commissioners, at 0 Frost Road, Coolville, Ohio. It says, and this is print is very tiny, they wanted the well sampled, but it was not possible to locate the well. With the information given, it appears that the well is somewhere in the woods off of Frost Road, about a quarter-mile north of 1963 Frost Road. Tried to locate the well in 2 separate instances and did not receive communication from the owner until the following week. I wonder who the owner is, considering it listed as the Athens County Board of Commissioners. So next, most of these oil field well listings are K and H partners. So they appear to be associated with it. Now there's some property listings or owner listings that are interesting to point out. We have the River City Properties LLC, Core Industries LLC, and Bow Camp Properties LLC. And then we also have a River City Properties LLC. I read them before, so they're listed twice. And a Church Gospel Baptist Incorporated. Now that's got to be a longer name or something, because I tried to look that up and I couldn't find it. Now this document from 2012 lists a Kelly Naylor, P.O. Box 398, Lewis Center, Ohio, for Core Industries LLC, one of those names on the list. This is from November, or the date of formation was November 16, 2011. Core Industries LLC at 4400 Northeast 77th Avenue, Suite 300, Vancouver, Washington. And then we got that P.O. Box for the Kelly Naylor. And the print name and signature are both Kelly Naylor, but it doesn't look like the signature line is real. From 2009, we have LegalZoom.com Incorporated. Attention, Jacob Varghese, that's a Victor Alpha Romeo Golf Hotel Echo Sierra Echo, 7083 Hollywood Boulevard, number 180, Hollywood, California. This is for Beaucamp Properties LLC. And at this point, I should just say that the agent is listed as a James R. Bushong, 52231 State Route 248, Long Bottom, Ohio. And then on the signature line, we have a Sheila Dang, authorized representative, 2009. Now that was not the same listed as the agent. So that is the end, as far as this goes, of that particular analysis. And there will be more to come.